Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by towering oaks and rolling meadows, there existed a charming town called Willowbrook. The villagers lived in harmony, their days filled with laughter, honest work, and simple pleasures. Markets bustled with fresh produce, children played in cobblestone streets, and neighbors greeted each other warmly. In this town lived a spirited boy named Jack Thompson. At 10 years old, Jack was renowned for his curiosity and love for the whispering woods bordering their village. He had spent countless afternoons exploring every winding path, discovering every babbling brook, and memorizing every hidden glade. The forest was his second home. One sunny afternoon, while Jack played near the forest edge, he noticed something unsettling. A thin gray wisp of smoke spiraled upward into the blue sky from deep within the woods. His heart raced. This wasn't fog or clouds. It was smoke, unmistakable and dangerous. Jack knew catastrophe approached. Fire threatened their timber houses and the forest providing lumber, food, and protection. Without hesitating, Jack sprinted toward the village square, chest heaving, face flushed with urgency. "Fire! There's fire in the forest!" he screamed desperately. The villagers, engaged in afternoon chores, glanced up. Old Farmer Benjamin squinted toward the horizon and shook his weathered head. "Settle down, young man," he said dismissively. "That's merely afternoon mist rolling from the hills. You're letting your imagination run wild." Mrs. Patterson, mending fishing nets, laughed good-naturedly. "Jack, you always see dragons in clouds and monsters in shadows. Nothing to worry about." The villagers nodded in agreement, returning to their tasks. They were so accustomed to tranquility, they couldn't imagine disaster. Jack felt overwhelming frustration and terror. He knew what he witnessed was real. They refused to listen, but Jack couldn't stand idle. If nobody would act, the responsibility fell upon him. He was one small boy, but he had to try. He remembered his father's wise words. Even the smallest drop of water can extinguish a spark. With determination, Jack ran to the village well, grabbed the heaviest bucket, filled it with water, and staggered toward the forest. Water sloshed over the sides, soaking his shoes. Jack pushed through trees, scanning for smoke that grew thicker. He reached a clearing and saw terrible truth. The fire was still small, bright orange flames consuming dry leaves and branches. It crackled menacingly, sending sparks flying. If flames reached towering trees, fire would spread uncontrollably. Taking a deep breath, Jack swung the bucket and hurled water onto flames. Fire recoiled, hissing, but wasn't extinguished. Jack ran repeatedly between stream and fire, refilling his bucket. He worked tirelessly, body aching. "You won't burn our forest! You won't reach our village!" he shouted defiantly. He fought alone, but his spirit remained strong. In Willowbrook, smoke's acrid smell drifted through air. The mist Jack warned about had transformed into thick, dark plume rising above treetops. Panic erupted throughout the town. Farmer Benjamin dropped his tools. The boy was right. The forest is burning. The village exploded into frantic action. Men and women grabbed buckets, pots, barrels, any container available. They ran toward the forest, hearts pounding. When they arrived, they witnessed incredible sight. Jack stood covered in soot and sweat, battling flames that had grown significantly. Seeing him fighting alone filled villagers with shame and admiration. They quickly formed a human chain from stream to fire, passing buckets rapidly. "We're here, Jack! We'll fight together!" they shouted encouragingly. Working together with Jack guiding them, they battled the blaze fiercely. The forest filled with shouts and splashing water. Sweat poured down faces. Heat was intense, but nobody gave up. Finally, after what felt like eternity, the last flame died. Fire was defeated. The forest was saved, and so was Willowbrook. Everyone collapsed, exhausted, but relieved. They gathered around Jack, faces filled with gratitude. The village chief placed his hand gently on Jack's shoulder. "Jack," he said emotionally, "today you showed more bravery than anyone. You saw danger when we were blind. You acted when we hesitated. You saved us." Jack, tired but proud, smiled. "I only did what was right. We're all safe. That's what matters." From that day, Jack became a hero in Willowbrook. Villagers learned valuable lessons about listening to warnings. They learned courage doesn't depend on age or size. Jack's story spread throughout the entire region. Other villages heard about the brave 10-year-old who held back forest fire until help arrived. Parents told children Jack's story to teach courage. Jack continued exploring the Whispering Woods, but now other children joined him. He taught them to respect the forest and watch for dangers. The village established fire watch system. Farmer Benjamin apologized to Jack, admitting he should have listened. Mrs. Patterson made Jack's special quilt depicting his heroic deed. The village celebrated with grand feast. Years passed, and Jack grew into a fine young man, but he never forgot that crucial afternoon. He often visited the clearing where he fought fire, now regrown with vegetation. That spot became known as Jack's Stand. The village erected monument at Jack's Stand, a stone marker with simple words. Here, one boy stood against fire. Here, courage taught us all. Every year on anniversary, Willowbrook held celebration at Jack's Stand. Children gathered to hear the story from Jack. He would sit beneath the trees he saved. True bravery, Jack would always say with conviction and wisdom, isn't about being big or strong. It's about seeing what needs doing and having courage to act. And so Jack's legendary story became an enduring, inspiring legend, a powerful reminder that one person can make tremendous difference. The tale was passed through generations, inspiring countless children. The forest Jack saved continued thriving, providing for Willowbrook for generations. Every time children played beneath its branches, they remembered the extraordinary boy who refused giving up when faced with danger, who fought alone until others joined, who believed in himself when no one else would, and who proved that true courage matters far more than physical size or age.